Welcome to this episode of Diaspora Scholars TV. So today we are with Trizah Ombewa, and she's a master's student at IU Bloomington in the School of?
I'm in media school, currently taking a master's in media arts and science in the final semester of my master's program. Yeah.
You're graduating in May?
Yes, graduating in May.
I mean, you've come this far, and it's been a journey, right?
Yeah. It's been a journey of transition, resilience, and a lot of patience.
I'm sure you, I'm sure you mean it, because if you are not patient here, they say you become a real patient.
Yes. You'll get to the next flight back home. So it takes a lot of resilience. And
talking of home, Trizah, so where do you come from in Kenya?
I come from Siaya County. Yes. Which is in the Lake region of Kenya. Yeah.
By Lake region, you mean Lake Victoria?
Yes, Lake Victoria.
So where did you do your, law degree? I mean, give us a little bit of your background, because once people are able to see, like, oh, okay, she is the one leading this conference, they'll want to know a little bit about you. So give us a snippet of, a little bit of your educational journey.
Yeah. So I did my bachelor's of law. I was in the pioneer class of Egerton University Faculty of Law. Yeah, I was in the first lot.
I didn't know that.
When Egerton started law school. And yeah, that is where
It must have been exciting and also challenging being in a pioneer class.
I would say it was nice. Our faculty and professors are very protective of us.
Because they wanted they wanted you to succeed.
Yes, yeah. Because we were the sampling team, so we got the best. They invested the very best in us. So that is where my educational, my high level educational foundation began. Before I now came to Indiana.
Before you came to Indiana?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you didn't go to did you go to the Kenya School of Law?
I did go to the Kenya School of Law, where I got admitted to the bar in 2023, 6th of June.
It must have been a very exciting time.
It was an exciting time. Let me tell you, by the time you finish the Kenya School of Law, please, you have gone through quite a good stretch of testing.
How long does it take?
So it's a 1-year advocates training program.
No, that's the Kenya School of Law. But the bachelor's degree?
For bachelor's degree, it was between 4 to 5 years. Yeah.
It's long. It takes long.
It takes long. And for some, it even stretches to 6.
Yeah.
So it depends with the system that your school designs, whether it's tri-semester or it's dual semester, which shortens or longens.
Oh, yeah, you can try to shorten it by taking more semesters.
Yeah.
So what really made you get into law then? I mean, I'm sure there are many girls who really want to become lawyers, in Africa, and they are watching, they're saying, oh, that's Trizah, she's even in the US right now. She could just have practiced home. And first of all, why did you get into law, and why did you not practice and you decided to go for further studies?
I think it is the dream of every young girl to save the world.
Yes,
so
it is.
That is where the first idea of being a lawyer started from. I would feel like many people are oppressed, and they needed a defender.
Injustices.
They needed a defender.
Yeah.
So that was the first, very initial thing. And the interesting thing, among maybe the few people who stick to whatever they decide they want to do from a very young age. I used to say I want to become a lawyer from a very young age. And by the time I was finalizing my high school, my dad agreed to fund that desire to be a lawyer. Yeah, so once I finished my undergraduate, that is the LLB, I went to the Kenya School of Law, got admitted to the bar. In between, I was doing a lot of community work. And I also worked for Midrift Human Rights Network, where I got to do a lot of humanitarian work, got a lot of...
For example?
So pretty much, I think we did a lot to do with policy. We did a lot to do with mental health. We did a lot to do with gender violence, both sexual and gender-based violence.
So majorly in Nairobi?
No, in Nakuru.
Oh, in Nakuru.
Yeah. in Nakuru. So after which I realized there's a lot of gap in terms of legal knowledge. And I remember specifically during COVID, I got the opportunity to interact with the general public through radio.
Oh, through radio?
Yes. And I remember it was either Radio Amani, hosted by the Catholic Church. And
Imani, maybe. Or whichever. Yeah.
Yes,
Amani or Imani. Yeah.
Yeah, something of that sort. And I remember some of the questions that were coming in, I was like, wow.
So questions coming from members of the public.
Yeah, they allow you to engage with the public. They make the calls. I was like, how then can we maximize this media platform to educate people about basic legal matters? So that is what initiated my desire to come and pursue a bit more of media. So I'm currently in media school with a focus of media management, law and policy.
So you never stopped the law in you. You just try to fill a gap that you saw while you tried to practice the law as
Yes, with the experience that I had with the community, I'm like, well, I know I can do the putting on of the suit, carry my diary every day to court, but I was not sure if that is fully quenching the thirst and the desire to help the community in one way or the other. So that is how I ended up in media school. I'm currently writing a thesis that looks at issues of succession, specifically in Kakamega.
And it's a big issue. Land succession is a big problem.
Yes. And often you see people losing property or children and widows suffering, especially when the head of the house
passes away.
Yes, or even the wife of the woman passes away. Property goes missing sometimes. And children end up suffering.
Some people even get relocated from their own land.
Some people get relocated, they're chased away from their own land. It looks like a really small matter, but it's tied to many other issues that end up from health. We have a lot of HIV cases. And in terms of culture, women are sometimes forced to engage in certain things after the death of the husband.
To survive.
Yeah, to survive and such kind of stuff. So it touches on matters health, touches on issues of finance, touches on issues of child protection, and so many other things. So one of the areas that I wanted to focus on was, can media try and get this information out there? Because there is what we call mama mboga, the very low-income wananchi. Are we able to get this information?
And they're the ones who suffer a lot of injustice.
Yes, they're the ones who suffer more, a lot of injustice.
And you see, I always hear this adage that ignorance is no defense.
It's no defense.
Which is a little bit upsetting, right?
Yeah, it's upsetting, but it's the reality. So, and sometimes one of the other things that I also recognize, not everybody is able to afford a lawyer.
No.
But you're allowed to go and defend yourself in court. You're allowed to do self-representation. But how do you do self-representation?
Oh, people don't understand that.
And you don't have any knowledge.
Legal knowledge.
Basic, so that is where the desire stems from.
And it even begins when, for example, you are being arrested, right?
Yeah. Do you know the rights of an arrested person? People don't often know that. Sometimes you're told to sign something or write something. And that is why they usually say, refuse to talk until your lawyer is there.
Simply demand for a presence of a lawyer.
Some representation, sometimes people are arrested and they don't know that they have the right to call someone and notify them this and this is happening. So there's just some gap in terms of, we're not saying be a lawyer, but have at least some basic legal information that can help you, because it forms part of our existence, our day-to-day.
Whether you like it or not, you are subject to adherence to the law.
Yes.
And sometimes you are not even aware when you are breaking it.
Yes.
And sometimes somebody is breaking the law and making you a victim.
Yes.
And
you're not aware.
You're not aware. Oh.
And sometimes you even, when you're a victim, you sometimes end up complicating your case when you don't know what to do in that specific moment. I've interacted with cases where a victim went through sexual violence, you went on to Kasha or something, and then went to the police station.
Oh, so the evidence is gone.
The evidence.
Evidence is gone.
But naturally, that would be the first thing that as a human being you want to run, clear, so there's just gaps in different areas of law. But for a start, I decided to focus on matters succession for now, as we get deep into
deeper and deeper in other things.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, I mean, you've been in the U.S., obviously you have that legal mind. What are some of the legal issues you have seen, particularly among, African students in the diaspora, that you think, are worth having a legal kind of, application?
I would say for a start is the immigration issues. Know your status.
Know your status.
Know your status.
Know your immigration status.
Yes. Know which papers you need at what time. And we always say have a copy of everything.
Have at least a digital copy or a paper copy.
Yes, yeah. And in the world we are in now, always have a digital copy somewhere.
Keep it in the cloud.
Yes,
by that you mean a copy of the passport, your visa, your I-20 if you're a 20,
yes,
or a DS-160 if you are a J1,
yes,
or or your marriage certificate, a birth certificate, all those things.
Yeah, yeah. There's all those things, and then the other thing is, I would say in the recent session we have had a lot of cases where international students are being caught in between using AI or plagiarized work and all that. So sometimes you find yourself in trouble and you don't know what to do and where to start. But I think these are information that probably we need to make very accessible.
Yeah, we need to really make it accessible, sure.
Yeah, to students who are studying here. Yeah.
If you talk of AI, I attended a conference in Orlando, Florida about success, student success, and there were many sessions of how to be able to use AI without, breaking any, academic, rules.
Yeah.
And I think, as you say, maybe that's the way to go, right? You engage use some AI tools and you don't know the extent to which ones you should use, and
And we say AI is probably here to stay.
Yes.
And we need to be alive to that reality. But the mistake then comes when you let AI do the work for you. Yeah.
But certainly there are AI tools to help you review the literature, AI to help you do the
edit,
but it should not replace you.
Yes, it shouldn't replace you, and that is becoming a problem.
It's becoming a problem.
Yeah. The other.
What about issues to do with marriage issues, relationship issues?
Some of the cases with other leadership positions that I've held, some of the issues we have had is when you're meeting someone online, because now we're in a very individualistic society, so we don't get the ratios and the weddings where you're meeting
the opportunities, social opportunities.
They're limited, so people end up getting into these dating apps. Sometimes, if you're not careful enough, you're exposing yourself to some level of insecurity. So usually they say, please take care. I think I've had a story where a student had to go back home because they engaged with a minor. And here sometimes it's difficult to tell.
From their body size and all that. And they also don't admit it.
They don't admit it, so you're like, just be careful with such kind of things. We have also had issues such as when you engage in accidents, sometimes people are drinking and driving. Those are really big offenses.
DUI leads to deportation.
Yeah, even deportation. So I think these are information that people who have been here longer can actually try and help.
Yeah.
People who are coming in, hey, this and this, try and avoid, this and this, try and avoid. It would really help. The other thing I would say, which is not really legal, is in terms of finances. We come from a culture where you have the money for you to own. But here, the credit system makes you think that you have something that you don't really own.
You don't really own.
Yeah, it's a debt.
And they keep encouraging you to, they
keep encouraging you every day.